First Chronicles chapter 1. Adam, Seth, Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Sons of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, the Medes, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tiras. Sons of Gomer: Ashkenaz, Diphar, Togarma. Sons of Javan: Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittim, the Danites. Sons of Ham: Cush, Mizraim, Put, Canaan. Sons of Cush: Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, Sabteka. Sons of Rama: Sheba, Dedan. Cush became father of Nimrod, the first potentate on earth. Mizraim became of the people of Lud, of Anam, of Lehab, of Naptu, of Pathros, of Kaslu, and Kaphtor, from which the Philistines came. Canaan became father of Sidon, his firstborn, then Heth, and the Jebusites, the Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Sinites, Arvadites, Semarites, Hamathites. Sons of Shem: Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, Aram. Sons of Aram: Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arpachshad became father of Shelah, and Shelah became father of Eber. To Eber were born two sons. The first was called Peleg, because it was in his time the earth was divided, and his brother was called Joktan. Joktan became father of Almodad, Shelef, Hasarmavet, Jerah, Adoram, Usal, Dikla, Ebal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, Jobab. All these were sons of Joktan. Shem, Arpachshad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Roi, Serug, Nahor, Terah, Abram, that is Abraham. Sons of Abraham: Isaac and Ishmael. Sons of Ishmael: Nebaioth, his firstborn, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kederma. Sons of Keturah: Abraham's concubine, Simran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Sons of Joksham: Sheba and Dedan. Sons of Midian were Ephon, Epher, Hanok, Abida, Elda. Abraham was the father of Isaac, who had two sons, Esau and Israel. The descendants of Esau were Eliphaz, Roel, Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. The descendants of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Sephi, Gatam, Kenaz, Timnah, and Amalek. The descendants of Roel were Nahath, Serah, Shammah, and Missa. The sons of Seir were Lotan, Shobal, Sibayon, Anna, Dishon, Eser, and Dishan. The clans descended from Lotan were Hori and Homam. Lotan's sister was named Timnah. The clans descended from Shobal were Alian, Manahath, Ebal, Shephi, and Onam. The descendants of Sibayon were Aiah and Anna. Anna had a son named Dishon, who was the ancestor of the clans of Hamran, Eshban, Yithran, and Keran. Eser was the ancestor of the clans of Bilan, Savan, and Jakan, sons of Dishau, Uz, and Aran. Here are the kings who ruled in the land of Edom before an Israelite king ruled. Bela, son of Beero, his city was called Dinhaba. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Serah from Bosra, became king. When Jobab died, Husham of the land of the Temanites became king. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, became king. He defeated the Midianites in the country of Moab, and his city was called Avith. When Hadad died, Samla of Masrekah became king. Samla died, and Saul of Rehoboth on Nahar became king. When Saul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Achbor, became king. When Baal-Hanan died, Hadad became king. His city was called Pai. His wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Matred from Mesahab. After Hadad died, these were the chiefs of Edom: chief of Timnah, chief of Aliyah, chief of Jetheth, chief Oholibamah, chief of Elah, chief Pinon, chief Kenaz, chief Teman, chief Mipsar, chief Magdiel, and chief Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom. First Chronicles chapter 2. These are the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi and Judah, Issachar and Zebulun, Dan, Joseph and Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad and Asher. Judah had 5 sons in all. The first 3 were born to him by Bathsheba, the Canaanite woman. They were Er, Onan and Shelah. Er, Judah's firstborn, was so evil that Yahweh put him to death. By his daughter-in-law Tamar, Judah had 2 more sons, Perez and Serah. Perez had 2 sons, Hezron and Hamul. His brother Serah had 5 sons, Simri, Hetan, Heman, Kalkol and Dara. One of them, Akar, son of Carmi, brought trouble upon the people of Israel by keeping loot that had been devoted to God. Ethan had 1 son, Asariah. Hezron became the father of Jerahmeel, Ram and Caleb. Ram was the father of Aminadab. Aminadab of Nachsan. Nachsan, who was a prince of the tribe of Judah, was the father of Salmon. Salmon of Boaz. Boaz of Obed. Obed of Jesse. Jesse had 7 sons: Eliam the firstborn, Abinadab, Shammah, Nathanael, Radai, Osem, and David the youngest. Jesse had 2 daughters, Servaiah and Abigail. Servaiah had 3 sons, Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Abigail married Jether the Ishmaelite. They had a son named Amasa. Caleb, son of Hezron, married Asubah and had a daughter named Jerioth. Jerioth had 3 sons, Jesher, Shobab, and Ardon. Asubah died, and Caleb married Ephrath, and they had a son named Hur. Hur became father of Uri and grandmother of Bezalel. When Hezron was 60 years old, he married Machir's daughter, the sister of Gilead. They had a son named Sergu, who had a son named Jair. Jair ruled 23 towns in the land of Gilead. But the kingdoms of Geshur and Aram took from them the villages of Jair, that is Kenath and its towns, 60 towns in all. All these had belonged to the descendants of Machir, father of Gilead. After Hezron's death, his son Caleb married Ephrathah, his father's widow. They had a son named Ashur, the father of Tekoa. Jerahmeel, Hezron's eldest son, had 5 sons, Ram his firstborn, Buna, Oren, Osem, and Ahijah. Jerahmeel had another wife called Atara. She was the mother of Onam. Ram had 3 sons, Mas, Jamin, and Eker. Onam was the father of Shammai and Jada. Shammai of Nadab and Abishur. Abishur's wife was called Abihail. She bore him Aban and Molid. Nadab had 2 sons, Seled and Appaim. But Seled died leaving no son. Appaim was the father of Ishi, who was the father of Sheshan. Sheshan was the father of Alai. Jada, Shammai's brother, had 2 sons, Jether and Jonathan. Jether died leaving no sons. Jonathan had 2 sons, Peleth and Sasa. These were all descendants of Jerahmeel. Sheshan had no sons, only daughters. He had an Egyptian slave named Jara, to whom he gave his daughter in marriage. They had a son named Attai. The ancestral line from Attai to Elishama is as follows: Attai, Nathan, Sabad, Ephlai, Obed, Jehu, Asariah, Heles, Eleasa, Sismal, Shalom, Jekamiah, and Elishama. The firstborn son of Caleb, Jerahmeel's brother, was named Mesha. Mesha was the father of Sif, who was the father of Meresha. Meresha was the father of Hebron, who had 4 sons, Korah, Tappuah, Rechem, and Shema. Shema became father of Rakam and grandfather of Jorkeam. Rechem became father of Shammai and grandfather of Mayon. Mayon became the father of Bethsur. Caleb had a concubine named Ephah, who gave birth to Haran, Mosa, and Gases. Haran also had a son named Gases. Jadal had 6 sons, Regem, Jotham, Geshan, Pelet, Ephan, and Shaph. Caleb had another concubine, Maacah, who gave birth to Sheber and Tirhana. Later she had 2 more sons, Shaph, who founded the town of Madmana, and Sheva, who founded the towns of Machbena and Gibeah. The daughter of Caleb was Achsa. The following were descendants of Caleb. Hur was the firstborn son of Ephrath. Hur's son Shobal was father of Kiriath Jearim. Salma, father of Bethlehem, and Haro, father of Beth-Gada. Shobal, the father of Kiriath Jearim, was the father of the people of Harovah, that is, half of the Manakathites, and also the clans living in Kiriath Jearim, the Ithrites, Puthites, Shumathites, and Mishrites, the people of the cities of Sora and Eshtaol, belonged to these clans. Sons of Salma, Bethlehem, Netophath, Atroth Beth Joab, and the Sorites, who were one of the clans of Manasseh. The Sopharites lived in the town of Jabez. The Tirathites, Shimeathites, and Sukathites, they were Cainites, descendants of Jamar, the Rechabites' ancestor. 1 Chronicles chapter 3. These are the sons of David who were born to him while he was in Hebron. The firstborn, Amnon, whose mother was Ahinoam from Jezreel. Second, Daniel, whose mother was Abigail from Carmel. Third, Absalom, whose mother was Maacah, daughter of King Talmai of Geshur. Fourth, Adonijah, whose mother was Haggith. Fifth, Shephatiah, whose mother was Abital. Sixth, Ithrayam, whose mother was Eglah. All 6 were born to him in Hebron, where he ruled for 7 years and 6 months. He ruled as king for 33 years in Jerusalem. Many sons were born to him in Jerusalem. By his wife Bathsheba, daughter of Amiel, he had 4 sons, Shemaiah, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon. 9 other sons were Ebar, Elishama, Elipheler, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphelet. All these were sons of David, besides other sons by the concubines. Tamar was their sister. These are the descendants of King Solomon from father to son: Rehoboam, Abijah, Asa, Jehoshaphat, Joram, Ahaziah, Joash, Amasiah, Azariah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, Manasseh, Ammon, and Josiah. Josiah had 4 sons: Johanan, the firstborn, Jehoiakim, second, Zedekiah, third, and Shallum, fourth. The sons of Jehoiakim were Jeconiah and Zedekiah. These are the descendants of King Jeconiah, who was taken captive by the Babylonians. Jeconiah had 7 sons: Shealtiel, Malkiram, Pedaiah, Shenazar, Jekamiah, Hoshama, and Nedabiah. Pedaiah had 2 sons, Zerubbabel and Shimei. Zerubbabel had 2 sons, Meshullah and Hananiah, and 1 daughter, Shelomith. Meshullam had 5 sons, Hashubah, Ohel, Berechiah, Hasadiah, and Jushbad Hesed. Hananiah's 2 sons were Pelatish and Jeshiah. Jeshiah was the father of Rephaiah, who was the father of Arnan, who was the father of Obadiah, and grandfather of Shechaniah. Shechaniah's son was Shemaiah, and his 5 grandsons were Hattush, Igal, Bariah, Nedariah, and Shaphat. Neariah's 3 sons were Elionai, Hiskiah, and Asrikam. Elionai's 7 sons were Hodaviah, Eliashib, Pelaiah, Akkub, Johanan, Delaiah, and Anani. 1 Chronicles chapter 4. Some of the descendants of Judah are Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, and Shobal. Shobal was the father of Reaiah, who was the father of Jahath, the father of Athumai and Lahad. These people lived in Zorah. These were the descendants of Etam, Jezreel, Ishma, and Idbash, whose sister was called Hazelelponi. Penuel became father of Gedor, and Eser the father of Husha. These are the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, father of Bethlehem. Ashur, father of Tekoa, had 2 wives, Helah and Nara. Nara bore him 4 sons, Ahusam, Hefer, the Temeni, and the Hahashtari. Ashur had 3 sons by Helah, Sereth, Sohar, Etnan. Kos became father of Anub and Sobeba, and the clans of Aharhel, son of Harum. Jabez was known of them. His mother had given him the name Jabez to recall that in pain she had given birth to him. Jabez called on the God of Israel, "If you truly bless me, you will give me much land. Be with me and keep me from anything that might harm or cause me pain." God gave him what he had prayed for. Caleb, the brother of Shuha, became the father of Mehir, who was the father of Eshton. Eshton had 3 sons, Bethrapha, Paseah, and Tehina. Tehina was the father of Imahaz. The descendants of these men lived in Rekah. Kenaz had 2 sons, Othniel and Seraiah. Othniel also had 2 sons, Gethath and Meonothai, who became the father of Ophrah. Seraiah became the father of Joab, the founder of Craftsman's Valley, where skilled workers lived. Caleb, son of Jephunneh, had 3 sons, Eru, Elah, and Nam. Son of Elah, Kenaz. The sons of Jehalelel were Sif, Siphah, Tiriah, and Asarel. Ezra had 4 sons, Jether, Mered, Epher, and Jalon. Mered's wife, Bithiah, a daughter of the king of Egypt, gave birth to a daughter, Miriam, and 2 sons, Shammai and Ishbah. Ishbah was the father of Eshtemoh. Mered also had a wife from the tribe of Judah, who gave birth to 3 sons, Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, father of Soko, and Jekuthiel, father of Sanoah. Hodiah married the sister of Naham. Their descendants formed the clan of Garm, which lived in the town of Keilah, and the clan of Makath, which lived in the town of Eshtemoah. The sons of Shimon were Amnon, Rinnah, Ben-Hanan, and Tilon. The sons of Ishi were Soheth and Ben-Soheth. The descendants of Shelah, son of Judah, were Er, father of Leka, Lada, father of Maresha, and the clans of linen weavers of Beth Ashbeah, Joachim, and the people who lived in Koseba, Joash and Sarah, who went to Moab to take wives before returning to Bethlehem. These are events of long ago. They were potters and lived in the towns of Netaim and Gedera. They stayed with the king there, employed in his workshop. Simeon had 5 sons, Nemuel, Jamin, Jarib, Zerah, and Shaul. Shaul's son was Shallum, his grandson was Mibsam, and his great-grandson was Mishma. The sons of Mishma were Hamuel, Sakur, Simi. Simi had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but his brothers did not have many children, and none of their families increased as the families of Judah did. They lived in Beersheba, Molada, and Hasar-Shual, Bilhah, Esem, and Tolad, Bethuel, Hormah, and Siklag. Beth Markaboth, Hasar Susim, Beth Biri, Sharim. These were their towns until the reign of David. Their outlying villages were Etam, Ain, Rimmon, Token, and Ashan, 5 towns with all their surrounding villages as far as Baalath. Here they had their settlements and sorted themselves into their various groups. Meshobab, Jamlek, Josha son of Amasiah, Joel, Jehu son of Joshibiah, son of Seraiah, son of Asiel, Elionel, Jacobah, Jeshohaiah, Asaiah, Adiel, Jesimiel, Benaiah, Sisa, Ben Shifi, Ben-Elon, Ben-Jedaiah, Ben-Shimri, Ben-Shemaiah. These men came with their clans and families. They grew in number and spread. As they searched for pasture for their flocks, they traveled from the Gerar Pass to the eastern end of the valley. Where they found good fat pasture, the land was broad, untroubled, peaceful. Hamites had been living there before them. But in the time of Hezekiah, king of Judah, this group of Simeon's tribe arrived there, overran their tents and the dwellings they found there. They wiped them out through an anathema still in force today, and settled in their place, since there was pasturage for their flocks. Some of them, belonging to the sons of Simeon, reached Mount Seir, 500 men, led by Pelatiah, Neariah, Rephaiah, and Uzziel, the sons of Ishi. They defeated the surviving fugitives of Amalek and still live there today. 1 Chronicles chapter 5. Descendants of Reuben, firstborn of Israel. He was indeed the firstborn, but when he had relations with his father's concubines, his birthright was given to the sons of Joseph, son of Israel. The group of Joseph, however, did not keep this firstborn right, because Judah proved more powerful than his brothers, and from him proceeds the ruler, but the firstborn right belongs to the tribes of Joseph. Sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel: Hanok, Pallu, Hezron, Carmi. Sons of Joel: Shemaiah his son, Gog his son, Shimei his son, Micah his son, Reiah his son, Baal his son, Bera his son, whom Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, carried off into exile. He was a prince of the Reubenites. His kinsmen by clans, grouped according to their kinship: Jael, the chief; Zechariah; Bela, son of Asas, son of Shema, son of Joel. These lived in Aroer, as far as Nebo and Baal-Mechon. These extended to the east toward the river Euphrates, reaching the desert, because their flocks had multiplied in the land of Galaad. In the days of Saul, they waged war against the Agarites, who were defeated, and they occupied their homes east of Galaad. The sons of Gad lived opposite them in the land of Bashan, as far as Salekah. First Joel, and then Shapham, Janai, and Shaphat in Bashan. The other families of the tribes were those of Michael, Meshullam, Sheba, Jorai, Jachan, Sia, and Eber. These are the descendants of Abihail, whose ancestors were traced back as follows: Abihail, Huri, Jerovah, Gilead, Michael, Jehishal, Jado, Bus, Ahi, son of Abdiel, and grandson of Guni, was the head of these clans. They had settled in the territory of Gilead and Bashan, in the towns there, and all over the pasture lands of Sharon. All were listed in the family records in the days of King Jotham of Judah and King Jeroboam of Israel. The people of Reuben, Gad, and half-tribe of Manasseh were 44,760 valiant men, well trained in the use of shields, swords, and bows. They waged war against Hagrite tribes of Jelur, Naphish, and Nodab, and as they put their trust in God and called on Him for help, they were victorious over the Hagrites and all their allies. They took with them from the Hagrites' livestock 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They took 100,000 prisoners of war. But many of the enemy had been killed, for it was God's war, and they settled in what had been Hagrite territory until the exile. The half-tribe of Manasseh settled in the land between Bashan and Baal Hermon, Senir and Mount Hermon, and they were very numerous. These are the heads of their clans: Epher, Eshi, Eliel, Asriel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Jadiel. These were famous warriors and leaders of their clans. But they were unfaithful to the God of their ancestors and worshipped the gods of the peoples whom God had driven out of the land. So the God of Israel brought against them the anger of Pul, king of Assyria, and of Tilgath-Pilneser, king of Assyria, who deported the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. They were taken off to Hala near Hara and the river Gozan. They are still there today. Sons of Levi: Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. Sons of Kohath: Amram, Ishar, Hebron, and Uzziel. Sons of Amram: Aaron, Moses, and Mary. Sons of Aaron: Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. The descendants of Eleazar from one generation to the next are as follows: Phinehas, Abishua, Bukki, Ossi, Serahiah, Meraioth, Amariah, Ahitub, Sadok, Ahimaaz, Asariah, Johanan, Asariah, the one who served as priest in the temple that Solomon built in Jerusalem. Amariah, Ahitub, Sadok, Shallum, Hilkiah, Asariah, Seraiah, Jehozadak. Jehozadak was deported when Yahweh, through King Nebuchadnezzar, sent into exile the people of Judah and Jerusalem. 1 Chronicles chapter 6. Levi had 3 sons: Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. These are the names of the sons of Gershom: Libni and Shimei. Sons of Kohath: Amra, Ishar, Hebron, and Uzziel. Sons of Merari: Mali and Mushi. These are the families of Levi according to their ancestors. Descendants of Gershon from one generation to the next: Libni, Jahath, Simma, Jova, Iddo, Serah, Jeatheral. Descendants of Kohath from one generation to the next: Aminadab, Korah, Asir, Elkanah, Ebiasaph, Asir, Tahath, Uriel, Uzziah, Shaul. Elkanah had 2 sons, Amasai and Ahimoth. Elkanah, son of Ahimoth, Sophal, Nahath, Eliab, Jeroham, Elkanah. The sons of Elkanah were Samuel, his firstborn, and Abijah. Samuel had 2 sons, Joel, the firstborn, and Abijah, the younger. Descendants of Merari from one generation to the next: Mali, Libni, Shimei, Ussa, Shimeiah, Hagiah, Asaiah. These are the men David named to lead the singing in the temple of Yahweh when the ark had come to rest there. They were responsible for the singing before the holy tent of the tent of meeting until Solomon had built the temple of Yahweh in Jerusalem. They did their duties in accordance with the rules. These are the men who accomplished this ministry and their sons. Of the clan of Kohath, Herman, the leader of the first choir, was the son of Joel. His ancestral line went back to Jacob as follows: Herman, Joel, Samuel, Elkanah, Jeroham, Eliel, Toa, Suf, Elkanah, Mahath, Amasai, Elkanah, Joel, Asariah, Zephaniah, Tahath, Asir, Ebiasaph, Korah, Ishar, Kohath, Levi, Israel. His brother Asaph was leader of the second choir. His ancestral line went back to Levi as follows: Asaph, Berechiah, Shimeiah, Michael, Baselah, Malkijah, Ethni, Serah, Adaiah, Ethan, Sima, Shimei, Jahath, Gershon, Levi. Ethan of the clan of Merari was the leader of the third choir at the left side. His ancestral line went back to Levi as follows: Ethan, Ishi, Abdi, Maluk, Hashbiah, Amasiah, Hilkiah, Amsi, Bani, Shemer, Mali, Mushi, Merari, Levi. Their brother Levites were in charge of the holy tent of the temple of Yahweh. Aaron and his descendants burned the offerings on the altar for burnt offering and on the altar of incense. They were responsible for all the worship in the most holy place and for the atonement for Israel's sins, according to the instructions of Moses, the servant of God. This is the line of Aaron's descendants: Eleazar, Phinehas, Abishua, Bukki, Ussi, Serahiah, Merayoth, Amariah, Ahitub, Sadok, Ahimaaz. These are the places they lived in according to the boundaries of their settlements. To the sons of Aaron of the Kohath clan, to whom the first share of land was assigned, they gave Hebron in the land of Judah and the pasture lands nearby. The fields and villages of this town, however, had been given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. The following towns were given to the descendants of Aaron: Hebron, a city of refuge; Jatir, Libnah, Eshtemoh, Hilen, Debir, Ashan, and Bethshemesh with pasture lands near them. In the territory of Benjamin, they were given the following towns with their pasture lands: Geba, Alemeth, and Anathoth. A total of 13 towns were given them for all their families to live in. To the rest of the clan of Kohath, family by family, 10 towns were given from the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh. The clan of Gershon, family by family, were given 13 towns from the territories of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and from the tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The clan of Merari, family by family, were given 12 towns from the territories of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. The people of Israel gave these towns with their pasture lands to the Levites. They received from the territories of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin the towns to which they gave names. The clans of Kohath obtained towns by lot from the tribe of Ephraim. They were given the following towns with their pasture lands: Shechem, the city of refuge in the hill country of Ephraim; Geser, Jokmeam, Beth-horon, Aijalon, and Gath-rimon. In the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh, they were given the towns of Aner and Baalim with their pasture lands. So much was given to the remaining families of the sons of Kohath. The clan of Gershon, family by family, were given the following towns with their pasture lands in the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh: Golan in Bashan, and Ashtaroth. In the territory of Issachar, Kadesh, Daberath, Ramoth, and Anim. In the territory of Asher, Mashal, Abdon, Hukok, and Rehob. In the territory of Naphtali, Kadesh in Galilee, Hammon, and Kiriathaim. To the rest of the clan of Merari were given the following towns with their pasture lands: In the territory of Zebulun, Rimono and Tabor. In the territory of Reuben, beyond the Jordan River near Jericho, Bezer on the high, flat land, Jasa, Kedemoth, and Mephaath. In the territory of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer. 1 Chronicles chapter 7. Issachar had 4 sons, Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron. Tola had 6 sons, Ussi, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jamai, Ibsam, and Shemuel. They were heads of families of the clan of Tola and famous warriors. In the time of David, the descendants numbered 22,600. Ussi had 1 son, Israhiah. Israhiah had 4 sons, Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. All 5 of these were chiefs, and they were obliged to enlist their troops, 36,000 men, for they had many wives and children. The family records of all the clans of Issachar listed a total of 87,000 men able to give military service. Benjamin had 3 sons, Bela, Becher, and Jediel. Bela had 5 sons, Esbon, Ussi, Hosiel, Jerimoth, and Eri. They were heads of families in the clan and famous warriors. Their family records listed 22,034 men able to give military service. Becher had 9 sons, Semira, Joash, Eleazar, Elionai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alameth. Their family records listed 20,200 men able to give military service. Shuppim and Huppim also belonged to this tribe. Jediel had 1 son, Bilhan, who had 7 sons, Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Kenana, Sethan, Tarshish, and Ahishahar. They were heads of families in the clan and famous warriors, 17,200, ready for service in war. Shuppim and Huppim were the sons of Yer, Hushim, the son of Aher. Naphtali had 4 sons, Jasiel, Guni, Jeser, and Shallum. They were descendants of Bilhah. Manasseh had Asriel by his Aramean concubine. She gave birth also to Machir, father of Gilead. And Machir took a wife for Huppim and for Shuppim. The name of his sister was Maacah, and the name of the second was Zelophehad. And Zelophehad had daughters. Maacah, wife of Machir, gave birth to 2 sons, whom they named Peresh and Sheresh. Peresh had 2 sons, Ulam and Rakem. Ulam had a son named Beda. These were the descendants of Gilead, the son of Machir and grandson of Manasseh. Gilead's sister Moleketh had 3 sons, Ishod, Abiezer, and Mala. Shemida had 4 sons, Kian, Shechem, Liki, and Aniam. These are the descendants of Ephraim from one generation to the next. Shutela, Bered, Tahath, Eliada, Tahath, Sabad, Shutela. Ephraim's 2 other sons, Yeser and Eliad, were killed when they tried to steal the cattle belonging to the people of Gath. Ephraim, their father, mourned for them for a long time, and his brothers came to comfort him. Then Ephraim went to his wife and she conceived and gave birth to a son, whom she called Beriah, because of the trouble that had come to their family. Beriah's daughter Shira built lower and upper Beth Horon and Usen Shira. Ephraim also had a son named Repha. The descendants of Repha were as follows: Resheph, Tela, Tahan, Ladan, Amikud, Elishama, Nun, Joshua. They had lands and settlements in Bethel and its towns, in Nasan to the east, in Gesep and its towns to the west, Shechem and its towns, as far as Aiah and its towns. Bethshean, Tanak, Megiddo, Dor, each with its towns, were controlled by the descendants of Manasseh. In all these places lived the descendants of Joseph, son of Jacob. Asher had 4 sons: Imnah, Ishwa, Ishvi, and Beriah, and 1 daughter, Sarah. Sons of Beriah, Heber and Malkiel. Malkiel was the father of Birsaith. Heber had 3 sons, Japhlet, Shomer, and Hotham, and 1 daughter, Shura. Japhlet had 3 sons, Pasa, Bimal, and Ashwath. Shomer, his brother, also had 3 sons, Roga, Hobah, and Aram. His brother Hotham had 4 sons, Sophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Amal. The sons of Sophal were Suah, Harnefer, Shual, Beri, and Imrah. Beser Hod, Shamma, Shilsha, Ithran, and Bera. The sons of Jether, Jephunneh, Pispa, and Ara. The sons of Ulla, Ara, Hamniel, and Risiah. All of these were descendants of Asher. They were heads of families and famous warriors. Asher's descendants included 26,000 men able to give military service. 1 Chronicles chapter 8. Benjamin became father of Bela, his firstborn, Ashbel second, Ahiram third, Noha fourth, Rapha fifth. Bela had sons, Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, and Ahoya, Gera, Shephuphan, and Huram. These are the sons of Ehud. They were heads of families of the inhabitants of Geba, and led them into exile in Manahath. Naaman, Ahijah, and Gera. It was he who led them into exile. He became the father of Uzzah and Achikud. He became father of Shaharaim in the plains of Moab after he had dismissed his wives Hushim and Bara. By his new wife he had sons, Jobab, Sibiah, Misha, Malcham, Jeus, Sakiah, Mirma. These were his sons, heads of families. By Hushim he had sons, Abitub and Elpal. Sons of Elpal, Eber, Misham, and Shemer. It was he who built Ono and Lud with its outlying towns. Beriah and Shema, they were heads of families of the inhabitants of Aijalon, who put to flight the inhabitants of Gath. Shashak was his brother. Jeremoth, Sebadiah, Arad, Eder, Michael, Ishpa, Joha were sons of Beriah. Sebadiah, Meshulam, Hiski, Haber, Ishmerai, Isliah, Jobab were sons of Elpal. Jakim, Sikri, Sabdi, Elionai, Silethai, Eliel, Adaiah, Beriah, Shimran were sons of Shimei. Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdon, Sikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Antonijah, Iphtaiah, Penuel were sons of Shashak. Shamsherai, Shechariah, Athaliah, Jareshiah, Elijah, Sikri were sons of Jeroham. These were the heads of families, grouped according to their kinship. They lived in Jerusalem. At Gibeon lived Abi-Gibeon, whose wife was Maacah. His firstborn son was Abdon, then Sur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Seker, and Mikloth, who became father of Shimeiah. These also, near their kinsmen, lived with their kinsmen in Jerusalem. Ner was father of Kish, Kish father of Saul, Saul father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Ishbal, son of Jonathan, Meribal. Meribal became father of Micah. Sons of Micah, Pithon, Melech, Taraiah, Ahaz. Ahaz became father of Jehoiada. Jehoiada father of Alemeth, Asmaveth, and Simri. Simri became father of Mosa. Mosa father of Benaiah. Rapha his son, Eliash his son, Asel his son. Asel had 6 sons whose names were these: Asrikam, Bokeru, his firstborn, then Ishmael, Sheariah, Obadiah, Hanan. All these were sons of Asel. Sons of Yeshek, his brother Ulam, his firstborn, Jeush second, Eliphelet third. Ulam had sons, stout fighting men and bowmen. They had numerous sons and grandsons, 150 of them. All these were sons of Benjamin. 1 Chronicles chapter 9. All the Israelites were classified in related groups, but they were listed in the book of the kings of Israel. As for those of Judah, they were deported to Babylon for their faithlessness. The first who came back to their towns and their estates were Israelites, priests, Levites, and helpers. So in Jerusalem lived Judeans, Benjaminites, Ephraimites, and Manassites. Uttai, son of Amihud, son of Omri, son of Imri, son of Bani, one of the sons of Perez, son of Judah. Of the Shilonites, Asaiah the firstborn and his sons. Of the sons of Serah, Joel, also their kinsmen, 690. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Sallu, son of Meshullam, son of Hodaviah, son of Hasenuah, Ibaniah, son of Jeroham, Ela, son of Ussi, son of Mikri, Mesullam, son of Shephatiah, son of Roel, son of Ibnijah. They had 956 kinsmen, grouped according to their kinship. All these men were heads of families. Of the priests, Jedaiah, Jehoiarib, Jachin, Asariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Sadok, son of Meraioth, son of Kittu, ruler of the house of God. Adaiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pashur, son of Malkijah, Masai, son of Adiel, son of Jasera, son of Meshullam, son of Meshilemith, son of Immer. They had kinsmen, heads of families, 1,760 men who undertook the duties of the temple of God. Of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Ashub, son of Asrikam, son of Hashabiah of the sons of Merari, Bakbakar, Haresh, Galal, Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Sikri, son of Asaph, Obadiah, son of Shemaiah, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, son of Asa, son of Elkanah, who lived in the villages of the Netophathites. The keepers of the gate, Shallum, Akkub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their kinsmen. Shallum was their head, and they still keep station at the royal gate to the east. These were the gatekeepers of the camp of the Levites: Shallum, son of Kor, son of Ebiasaph, son of Korah, with his brothers Korahites of the same family, were responsible for the liturgical service. They were keepers of the threshold of the tent, for their fathers had guarded the entrance of the camp of Yahweh. At one time, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, had ruled them, and they served before Yahweh. Zechariah, son of Meshelemiah, was keeper of the gate at the entrance of the tent of meeting. All the keepers of the gate at the threshold were picked men. There were 212 of them, and they were registered in their various villages. These were appointed by David and Samuel the seer because of their loyalty. They and their sons had the guardianship of the gates of the house of Yahweh, the house of the tent. On the four sides stood the keepers of the gate, east, west, north, and south. Their kinsmen in their villages would come to join them for a week from time to time, since the four head gatekeepers themselves lived there permanently. Some of them were responsible for the chambers and treasuries of the house of God. They spent the night in the precincts of the house of God, their duties being to guard it, and they had the keys with them to open the rooms at the morning. Some of them were responsible for the furnishings of worship. They counted them whenever they put them away and took them out. Others were in charge of the furniture and all the sacred furnishings, the fine flour, the wine, the oil, the incense, the spices, but only the priests prepared the mixture for the spices. One of the Levites, Mattithiah, the firstborn of Shallum, the Korahite, was responsible for the offerings that were to be baked on the pan. Some of their kinsmen, the Korathites, were responsible for the loaves to be set out in rows, Sabbath by Sabbath. These are the cantors, heads of the Levitical families. When free from service, they lived in the temple chambers because they were on duty day and night. These were the heads of the families of the Levites, grouped according to their families. These heads lived in Jerusalem. In the city of Gibeon lived Abi-Gibeon and Jael, whose wife was called Maacah. His firstborn was Abdon, then Sur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. Mikloth became father of Shimeam. Their descendants lived in Jerusalem near their families of their clans. Ner became father of Kish, Kish father of Saul, Saul father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbal. Jonathan's son Meribal became father of Micah. Micah had 4 sons, Pithon, Melech, Taraiah, and Ahaz. Ahaz became father of Jara, Jara father of Alemet, Asmavet, and Simri. Simri became father of Mosa, Mosa father of Binaiah, whose son was Rephaiah, whose son was Eleazar, whose son was Asel. Asel had 6 sons. Their names were these: Asrikam his firstborn, then Ishmael, Bokeru, Sheariah, Obadiah, Hanan. These were the sons of Asel. The Philistines caught up with Saul and killed Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. The fighting grew heavy about Saul. He was hit by enemy arrows and badly wounded. Then Saul said to the young man carrying his weapon, "Draw your sword and kill me. I do not want these godless Philistines to come and gloat over me." But the young man was afraid and would not do it. So Saul took his own sword and threw himself on it. Then the young man threw himself on his sword too and died. And so Saul died, he and his 3 sons and all his own together. All the Israelites who were in the valley heard that the army had fled and that Saul and his sons were dead. So they abandoned their towns and ran away. The Philistines then came in and occupied them. When the Philistines came on the following day to strip the dead, they found Saul and his sons lying on Mount Gilboa. They stripped him, and taking his head and his armor, had them carried around the land of the Philistines to proclaim the good news to their idols and their people. They placed his armor in the temple of their god, but his head they hung in the temple of Dagon. When all the people of Gilead heard all that the Philistines had done to Saul, the valiant men went and took the bodies of Saul and his sons away and brought them to Jabesh. They buried their bones under the oak tree in Jabesh, and they fasted for 7 days. Saul died because he had been unfaithful to Yahweh. He had disobeyed the commands of Yahweh. He had even consulted the spirits of the dead. As he had not consulted Yahweh, Yahweh put him to death and gave control of the kingdom to David, son of Jesse.